Hello. For those of you that didn't see, the government is now actually saying you should be wearing a fabric mask on public transport. So what I'm going to do is a bit later on, I'm going to do a video for tomorrow on actually making this have straps on and stuff like that. So it's, more of a more efficient mask, but this is sort of the basic thing they want people to do, is to wear a mask like this on public transport, because obviously the idea is that spittle coming out of your mouth or snot coming out your nose and stuff like that isn't flying everywhere. So that's good, Connor. If your phone's working, it wasn't broken. Hello Henry, hello William, hello Connor. But yeah, so that's that. Obviously it's steaming my glasses up. This is basically, I found an old rag down sort of where we'd cut up old sheets before, so I put it in the washing machine earlier so it was actually clean, because you thought, don't know where that's been. And then I'm going to use this in the DIY video for, tomorrow, making a mask of it. But you can just literally tie them if you want to, but the issue is if you do that, they're not the most comfortable, What's pathetic about it then, Cause? I think it's because it's probably, sometimes it depends on what the title of the video is. I know when I do streams talking more about Corona stuff that's been in the news, that's what they say. But yeah, so hello Richard. So hello everybody joining. Apologies if I miss people saying hello, because a lot of people have joined. Don't forget to like the stream. But yeah, so essentially what I'll probably do with this one is use it like that, and then do a video on putting straps on it and everything. But yeah, I mean, obviously if you've got a proper P3 mask already or whatever, use that. But the point is, they were saying that basically everybody now should be wearing masks of some sort to cut down the transmission. Which is, a bit late really saying that, because lots of countries like the Czech Republic had been enforcing that for a while. Yeah, the C3 with a proper filter on it, Ashton, would work well. It is a gas mask after all. The thing I don't get, though, about all this Corona stuff is the government now saying you can visit friends if you visit them in a park and you're stood distant, but you can't visit friends in their garden. It's like, what? How does that make sense? Because if you're following social distancing, it shouldn't matter where you're meeting them, surely. Rave Bros says, hey man, have you seen the videos of people making masks out of HEPA flow vacuum bags? They allegedly offer protection similar to an FFP2 mask. I've not seen videos on that, but the logic sounds fairly sound. If it's one of those bags where air can flow through it, but the bag's designed to catch dust or whatever, that should actually work, because again, that is a particulate material. All right, Mike, I just saw your sheath video just before I came on. Gave that a like and a comment. What the Corona rules, Steve? Yeah, I'd agree with you there. But yeah, so that will be tomorrow's video anyway. We'll be putting some straps or whatever on this to make it more of a comfortable half-face mask, rather than it just being a bit of cloth tied around like that. The worst possible thing about doing this, I've noticed, is if you've not brushed your teeth or mouthwash just before putting it on. I brush my teeth and mouthwash every morning and evening. That's why my teeth aren't falling out. But the point is that I've noticed if you just had a lunch or a coffee or something, then put on, you think, oh, that smells like awful. Imagine if you're a smoker, that would smell even worse. But yeah. So the idea I'll probably do is to look less like a bandito. Will be to basically, do this with straps and have it, probably folded a few times and glued, so it's a bit more of a thicker mask. Because what I'd probably say with this is, because this only offers a little bit of filtration ability, is probably I'll suggest when I do it in the video to fold it in a way, and be glued or sewn in a way that, a bit of air can get around the side of it, because if it's not going to be that good at filtering anyway, you might as well get better airflow, but just where, it can't spit germs out onto other people. I've done videos on it before, William the Butcher's son, if you look at my old videos. Not wear gas masks outside, Elegant Noise, but they said in the UK now, if you're on public transport, I'll get the BBC article up and post it here. They've said, cover faces in enclosed areas, people in England urged. So here we go. There's an article on it. But yeah, it's because we're too late really getting to this, but the point was that, it lowers the transmission. Because the idea is, even if everybody isn't wearing a mask that gives them protection, the idea is even if you have a bit of cloth like that over your face, you're not going to be able to sneeze and cough on other people as easily. And because a lot of people can be asymptomatic. The Avon CT12 is the favourite mask out of all the ones I've got. This one. If you're trying to post a link mosquito balls, of course it won't let you because you're not a mod, and YouTube doesn't let people post links on streams unless they're a mod or the person making the video. Good morning, Alex. But yeah, so that will be tomorrow's video. I'll film it after I'm done with this stream, working out a way using this to sort of make a very basic mask that anybody could make without any materials. But in theory, I mean, if you wanted to do it a really retro, old-fashioned way, all you would need to actually do is just this. I know that's now going to look like, you know, I'm an outlaw robbing a bank. I'd love to get my old pistol out to do this, you know, but YouTube rule says I can't. But yeah, in theory, you could just literally do that. But, you know, you'd probably find it more comfortable with a strap on and everything. Well, not a strap on, because that probably wouldn't be very comfortable, I imagine, but you know what I mean. Straps attached to the mask to I don't know if I have any handy, because what I was going to say is if you had pipe cleaners, you could probably put a pipe cleaner glued to that bit, and then you could do it to make a better nose seal there. I think that would work in theory quite well, but the problem is I don't have a lot of arts and crafts, you know, supplies around the house. Even though I've got the ideas to do it, I can't really test it. Alright, so that person keeps spamming the chat. Shrubble Wobble, not that you can easily get, sadly, because as this gets brought up on every stream, but the issue is Russia makes GOST filters still, but the issue is the PPE exports are banned from Russia. Some Chinese companies still make GOST masks, but not all of them are all that, and filters, but not all of them are that very good quality. Clandestine COVID mask. Let me Google it. Ravebra. At the moment, because of all the doxing shit, you know, I'm not really letting people send me stuff at the moment, but it sounds interesting, but yeah, it just comes out with random stuff. Huh? Steve said, any metal wire V-ties? The thing is, I might have something, but I'll just show in the video, even if I don't have something, you know, this would be where you could do it. Mariah says, I am from Sayutu, Africa. Was that South Africa or somewhere else in Africa? Let me just search that Rave Bra 3D printed mask. If anything comes up. When I'm searching that, most of the results coming out are just like standard masks, actually. I don't know, Michael, because in theory, I don't think they ever really did make VPU stuff for the Fashadas. Or Fashidas, however it's pronounced. Hello, Newt. I didn't see him come on, but he's deleted a message, so he must be here or lurking. Well, Mark, if you're listening to what we were saying, the point is with these that they don't protect you. This is why they're recommending it, right? Because there's not enough masks even for doctors at the moment. The point is that this offers you very little protection if you're the one wearing it. The point is, if you're coughing and sneezing under the mask, there's less velocity and everything of spittle and stuff like that coming out. The point is it's a containment thing. It's a risk lowering thing. In an ideal world, every single person at the moment could be issued a really, really good mask, you know, with good filters on it, like both filters in and out. And, you know, that would be great. The issue is we're not in a perfect world, are we? I'm just going to hide the person that keeps spamming the chat with weird messages. I think he's had enough warnings, probably. Okay, Mark, you don't understand the science. I don't know if I can be bothered to talk to you about it then. But I don't know why it's hard to understand. The point is that the virus microns do not travel freely in the air. They're not floating about everywhere. How it works is basically if you have one of these on, the point is, yes, it's not as good as a real mask. The point is when you've got one on, let's say I have it on and I'm coughing, I'm going, the point is not all of that and the spittle is coming out. It's like putting a tissue in front of your mouth if you cough. So I'm afraid if you don't understand that, I think you're on purposely missing the point. I've had a few people recently actually doing all the stuff of saying, you know, oh, but the virus micron is smaller than this filter size, so a mask does nothing. Yeah, then how come when medical, you know, personnel are given these masks, they don't catch it? And again, the people who come in these videos and actually know what they're talking about, you know, not me, but the biologist type people like Hype, literally say it's because the virus microns can't travel freely in the air. So therefore, you know, a P3 filter is good enough. But the issue is at the moment as well is, as I've been saying, is because there's loads of people getting their videos, you know, raided by trolls a lot. I can't even tell anymore who's like honestly just asking a question and being a bit strange about it and who's just trying to waste everybody's time. Yeah, thank you, 11HHH30. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream, everybody, because there's a lot more people on. I think they should, Mr. X. I mean, apparently the issue is with gloves is, you know, if you don't have gloves on, you wash your hands regularly. A glove doesn't give you any advantage in that regard. I think the main thing more with gloves is just that, you know, it's sort of, you know, easier to remember that you've got something and you need to decontaminate properly. I mean, there's obviously certain uses for gloves where you would never want your bare skin exposed, but I think with like regular cops at the moment, if they have hand gel and they can wash their hands frequently, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. I'm disappointed, Sean, but I don't know if I'm surprised, in all honesty, you know, because a lot of this stuff, you know, it was never planned properly. Do stuff you're interested in, your nan. So if you find that stuff interesting, do stuff on it, you know. That's what I'd say for most people wanting to do YouTube content, is find something you find interesting and talk about it, because if you don't find it interesting, I think you'll get bored very quickly doing the videos on it. Yeah, exactly, Alex. Not angry, you know, not surprised, just disappointed. For the person saying about the 3D printed masks, I've seen a few attempts. Some of them look all right. The issue is with a lot of the 3D printed stuff is it looks like a lot of it wouldn't make a very good face seal because, you know, it's kind of just plastic without the rubber or foam type stuff on it. Yeah, it's trouble with all. So you won't get the virus. You'll just randomly suffocate. Yeah, exactly. A1 filters, Cherno Inferno, would just be vapor level 1, organic vapor. So if you look up a list of organic vapors, basically anything on that list in low concentrations for short periods of time. Sadly, Benji, as far as I'm aware, the PBF just had that original series of filters made for it. They never, you know, like made an upgraded filter for it or whatever. I mean, a bean can would work more as a filter, I imagine, if once you'd eaten the beans, you washed the can out, filled it with a filter medium, and then stitched it or glued it to a mask. That might work, but I don't think a can itself would be a mask. For the person saying is a GP5 good, it's a mass-produced Soviet mask. If you can get one cheaply and you can get a filter that fits it, you know, it's all right. You know, at least the Soviets built a mask for everybody, but it's very antiquated and basic, you know. Groblob says he has a Scott Aviva for the shops, works fine for me. Yeah, Aviva's a good mask. Do I have my Aviva in this room or is it in a different room? Oh, I think I do have it in this room. Oh. I've got the one that takes 40mm filters rather than it being, you know, the unique Scott filters. Yeah, the Aviva's a good mask. Thanks for reminding me I had this, because this is one of those masks that I've actually got quite neatly stacked in a pile of boxes, you know, on a little shelf. So it's one where I don't see it because it fits into its gap quite easily. It's not as good as the MSA Advantage, but it is a good mask, actually. So yeah, of course, something like this is far better than using this. You know, I think that should be obvious, but it's quite amazing how many people miss the point of, you know, what certain masks are used for. Right, I just need to unwind the straps because where they've been put in the thing for a while, they're not exactly. Apparently you can mark, but you have to see your loved ones in a park or something. You can't visit them in their garden, which seems really stupid to me, but I didn't make the rule up. So, you know, there is that. Let's find a filter for this mask. Don't know what's going on with that strap currently, but that doesn't feel right. Right, filter. This is actually quite a comfortable mask. I always forget with the rubber on this. It's kind of like a silicone rubber, so it's yeah, it's working good. Yeah, the only thing of this is it ends up feeling quite tight around this area. I don't know why it puts more pressure there than some other masks do, but I suppose I could loosen the straps a bit more and see if that helps. But then you don't want it breaking the seal somewhere else, do you? But I suppose that's a bit better, but then you can see it's already falling down under its own weight. So, yeah. This is an alright mask, but yeah, like I said, the MSA Advantage is a lot better, but I'll take it off now. But again, this mask is one of those half-face masks that seems to work way better with a lightweight filter, not a heavy filter. Because even like the S10 filters, although they're not too heavy according to the manual for this mask, they still seem to, you know, put too much weight on it. So yeah, this is an alright mask, don't get me wrong. It's nice to get a half-face mask in 40mm, but the thing is, I don't get about this, Connor, like I've been saying, is what I don't get is why it's okay to go to the park to see a friend, but if your friend's got a big garden, you can't sit separately in the garden. That's stupid, Henry. If a teacher is literally saying, oh, you can't wear PPE, surely that's the opposite of what they're meant to be doing at the moment. Yeah, they'd be fine, Grobnob, because it's a lightweight filter, isn't it? Yeah, I found it's fine with that. It's just, the annoying thing is in the manual it says it can support up to certain weights, but it kind of can't. Right, something completely unrelated to face masks, but something cool. I had a thing arrive from the States today. Came in like only a week of ordering it, which was brilliant. Some of you might recognize one of these. I love these, but this is the first time I've ever managed to find a complete one for a decent price. You know, that wasn't like £50 for, you know, like £50 to £60 for a teacup size thing. So, how many of you recognise what this is? No, if I had a pet dog, I would not let them eat out of this. No, right. Yeah. Yeah, radioactive red Fiesta wear, where they actually painted it with radioactive paint. Let me put the batteries in the therapy, if that's all working, and we'll see what that measures. Actually, no, I'll tell you what, I've got a better Geiger than therapy for showing you a dose on it. We'll use this one. But yeah, they used uranium oxide in the paint for Fiesta wear. So it's like one of those great, one of the old radioactive curiosities of, you know, things nobody with a brain would do today. I'm definitely not going to eat out of it, Joshua. I've got it to go into my, like, you know, curiosity collection of radioactive relics kind of things. You know, these are the ones that they're not really that scary in terms of radiation. Like, I certainly wouldn't want Fiesta wear under my pillow, but they're certainly not as scary as things like radium. So anyway, you can see there that, let me turn the backlight off actually, because the issue is with having this with the backlight on. It makes it too bright to ever see on the webcam. So backlight timer, light off. Right, that's what we want. Right. I'll have it in counts per minute display. So hopefully you can see there, 31, 37, 30 to 60 CPM is pretty standard. Let me put the fast estimate timer on actually, because I think I've got it put on the really slow estimate timer, so it's the most accurate for background radiation. Fast estimate timer. Yeah, let's put that down to 5 seconds. Right, there we go. And it's that one's the so that is about 16 microsieverts, it reckons, and about 1.5 millirontgen per hour on that side. Some of it's probably more hot than other bits, though, knowing these. Yeah, that's actually a hotter bit there, I think. Oh, is that even hotter there? Yep. For some reason, it's actually more radioactive on that bit of it. Yeah, but would you eat off of it, Fred? The idea is no, and it gives off gamma radiation. So again, it's not something you want to be near for too long. It's an alpha, beta, and gamma emitter. But yeah, I mean, the alphas are not really going to get out, like you say, because it's in the paint, but still. Well, I've been doing videos a lot longer than COVID, Joshua. I just find this stuff interesting, really. So hello to everybody joining. But yeah, I'll turn the Geiger counter off now. But I was saying Fiesta Wear is really interesting. Like I said, it's not that hot compared to certain things you'll see. But yeah, it was to get the nice color. They said, "Oh, doesn't uranium mix well in to make bright colors?" Yeah, with Fiesta Wear, I was going to say again, there was, in theory, if it was all in good condition, you wouldn't get radiation going into your food. However, I imagine if, like people have said, if you had coffee in it that's a bit acidic in mugs, or you had, like spaghetti or something acidic in the bowls and you were eating that, there was probably a chance you'd eat some of the glaze with the, But yeah, I wash my hands after the stream. But thankfully, like I said, Fiesta Wear is a lot safer to handle. It's like, uranium glass. What are you saying? Where can you buy vultures? I don't think anybody sells vultures. Maybe, there'll be zoos that sell vultures. But... it certainly hasn't. Schwubble wubble. I very much doubt it's killed anyone, or it's certainly not killed people in big numbers. Whether or not it saved people, I don't know, because it was never used in a war, was it? But you can actually look that up, Cheat. It would depend on the brand and how long you're in it, but you are exposed to X-rays, and stuff like that. So yes, you would be. The only way I reckon you could find out properly, next time you're in an airport, if you've got a Geiger counter on you or whatever, have it on in your pocket and record what dose you get as you go through. Cool, Alex. Let's see what that is. Ah, cool. It's the article for the thing. It's cool. I'll link that in the chat now for anybody that wants to see it. But yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, for those of you that didn't know, Alex has done the article that was quite interesting about masks, and the government, is now saying, of course, that you should wear face coverings. So I'll post that as a community post after the stream, actually, and I'll read it properly then. But Looks good. I need to print that as well, because I thought when my dad goes to give my mum some supplies when she's looking after my grandparents, she'll probably want to read that, actually. War precautions. S6s sometimes turn up on eBay, but at the moment, the whole problem we've run into, of course, everybody's run into, is that there's not enough masks to go around, so... Well, the thing is, though, it's not illegal to have a Geiger counter, though, is it? Person with a Russian name. Again, like, the security people might not like it, but there's no reason you're not allowed it. That's the thing. You can just have the thing turned off, can't you, on a Geiger? You can have, with most of them, you can turn the speaker off. Modern Draeger ones, MX, are meant to be really good. I've only got older Draeger masks, like the sort of M65s, and they're good. No, Joshua, that sounds like the sort of book that UK authorities might not like people reading and owning. Maybe at some point, Daniel. It sounds very interesting. What's in there? Stuff like iodine or whatever. But sounds interesting. I think it was a joke, the person sort of saying it sounds like a bomb if you've got a Geiger counter in your pocket or whatever, but... Which one's the 3M Aura? I don't actually know that one. Let me Google it. Did people do much earlier? I just went out for a walk earlier. It says FFP1 on the website, so it's probably not P3, is it? It's probably P1, FFP1. Yeah, has anybody managed to make sense, though, of the thing of you can visit family and, like, friends if it's in a park, but not in their garden? That doesn't make sense to me. Is that just to stop people having, like, garden barbecues or parties or something? Good. Dogs always need walking, don't they, Henry? Yeah, you can't not walk a dog. It's unfair. I've seen people where they've got, like, a GP5, yeah, and they've put an air hose into them, and then they're using them in, like, a swimming pool. They're all over the place, Bjorn, gun laws in Britain. Basically, the main ones fall under what's called a Section 1 or Section 2 firearm certificate. Section 2 is shotgun certificate. Section 1 is firearm certificate. Section 1 covers most rifles. Section 2 covers shotguns. Then there's some guns that are like banned for public ownership, but police and that can have them, which fall under Section 5. I think that's pistols and like pepper spray and stuff like that. But then there's things like obsolete caliber rifles, like I've got a Schmidt-Rubin over there. Now that's interesting. Annoyingly, I can't show it you on the stream, and that's a YouTube policy. Otherwise, I'd just get it and show you. But something like the Schmidt-Rubin, because it's an obsolete caliber, you're allowed to own it, and it's not classed as a gun unless you load it and fire it. The UK is full of very strange gun laws. Like black powder guns, I don't think fall under gun laws unless they're shot again. It's like another thing, you know. There's some people who are sometimes in these streams who are really into shooting in the UK, so they can actually, you know, give you a proper rundown on the laws. But yeah, the weird thing is that UK gun laws are a bit all over the place, depending on what type of gun it is, really. Yeah, Scotland does have licenses for air guns, doesn't it? Why was that Grob Mob? Was it because there'd been like a load of people shooting each other with air guns, or was it just a politician thing? Because I know it's normally done as a knee-jerk type thing, but... What, do you mean searched through a bunker, Mark, or ever looked them up online? I've been to Calverton Hatch, which is one of the UK's biggest bunkers, which was one that was made for like government officials at one point. Yeah, James, that's not too dissimilar from here, although I think in the UK, if you are to shoot them, they have to be registered as a firearm or be on like a range, essentially. No, I've never had much interest in it, Rave Brat. I mean, I'd be interested in owning the guns. It's just the thing is, like, I think we've been over this quite a few times. Obviously, if you've not seen the videos, I'm not having to go at you because I'll just repeat it for you. But the issue is, from what I understand, if you're in a Section 1 or Section 2, the police are basically allowed to come around any time they want without almost a warrant. But it's like having a warrant where they can search everything. And while I've not got anything illegal, you know, I don't particularly like the idea of the police just being able to turn up and say, like, right, we're searching your house now. I can understand why that happened then, Noodles, but it's a real shame, isn't it, when a few dickheads ruin it for everybody, you know, like chav-type people. What they called in Scotland? Neds, is it? Name from in Scotland's. But yeah, like, you know, Scotland, like, you know, Neds and chavs and all that, just, you know, doing scummy things with air rifles, and then everybody suffers because, you know, whereas most people will just use them in the garden to plink cans or whatever. You'll get some people, yeah, shooting people's cats, shooting, yeah, paramedics, you know, and all that sort of stuff. So I can understand, again, like you say, why they did it, but it's still one of those things you wish people weren't that scummy, and it didn't have to be done, but it is Ned, right, yeah. It depends what country you're in. I don't know where you are, Marias, but in here, if you wanted to get a 22 long rifle or 22 long rifle, that would be a Section 1 firearm in the UK. DKP-50, that sounds familiar. Isn't the DKP-50 though the the ionization chamber? Yeah, you're on about one of these, aren't you? Hang on. That's not a Geiger counter; it's an ionization chamber pen. Basically, how these work is they have a capacitor in them that's charged, and they discharge when they get irradiated, giving you a dose you can look through and look at. These are, I would show you it on camera, but it's just really hard to ever get these to show up properly on camera. Let me put my light on my phone and like a flashlight on the phone and see that way. Torch. If it is possible to show you what that looks like, but it never works very well on these cameras. That's like the best I'm going to be able to show it. So you can see there it says Rontgen, and you can see that there's a line. It's really hard just for some reason getting the torchlight into the thing without it being too bright like that. There we go, that's the best I can show it. That's actually quite good there. So the line on it just goes down or goes up in dose essentially as the battery discharges. But yeah, I've got loads of dosimeter pens. But yeah, that's all they are. They're ionization chamber pens. Most nations used them at various points just because they were cheap to make. Like, that's the US CDV ones, which are pretty common. Let me see if you can see that one. All right, some of them show up better on camera than others, but the issue is not having the light too bright or too low kind of thing. So you see that one's Rontgen, and this one goes from 0 to 200 Rontgen, and you can see the needles just to the side of 0 there, so it's not actually discharging itself now, which is good. But yeah, you can get lots of different ion chamber pens. Yeah, let me get the German ones out, Hype. And hello, welcome to the stream. Right, that one's got an annoying clip, so I can't really put that back on. Do I have any of the German ones out currently? Oh, I do, if this is one that's in good condition. I've got 2 here, yeah. Right. Right, both of these aren't at 0 because I think these are ones I kept with the radioactive items for ages, and they've, not been charged in ages, but I'll show you. So this is the one, the orange one is 0 to 50 centigrade. It used to be Rontgens on the older ones, but that's this one. So but again, these are ones that don't charge on the standard chargers because they're too fat. So if I can get that. Problem is getting it at a thing where the numbers show up, but it's not over bright. There you go. You can see that one's about 20 centigrade, I think. Yeah, it's about 20 centigrade at the moment. The interesting thing is, look how easy it is to see that quartz fiber in this one. The quartz fiber, as you can probably see, you can see a lot easier than the actual display for this one for some reason. But yeah, that's this one. So that's at 20 centigrade at the moment, this one. These, yeah, I'll try this one with the cover still on the end so it diffuses the light coming in a bit. And this one is, what's this one at? This one's about 10 or 20 centigrade at the moment. Yeah, that would be about 20, because I think that's 0. Yeah, that's 25, isn't it? Because each little thing's 25 on this one. So it's a pretty similar dose, because that was what I did, I think, originally. Is when I charged both of these up to 0, I put them both in the exact same, like radioactive box to see, for like a month what they both read. And they both came to about 20 to 25 centigrade. So these are good little dosimeter pens, but the issue is with the German ones that they just do not fit on any chargers except the German chargers. Some of the British ones are actually really well. This is made by the Germans, I think. Some of these, yeah. GST Heiblöt. This is German. It says Bund on it, but this is actually the British style dosimeter pens. So, for example, this one goes to, this is one of the 50 essentially grey or Röntgen ones. I've turned the light off now, haven't I? Let me put it back on. Hang on a second. Then we can go back to talking about coronavirus again. Can you actually? Oh, I've got that the wrong way around. I'm being an idiot. Sorry, that's me. There we go. That's an easy one to see, isn't it? That one's saying that. That's a really easy one to see on that one. So at the moment, it's not even showing a charge because I've charged it to less than 0. But there we go. Yeah, so that was one of the British ones, but made for the Germans, although it says Bund on the side, so I'm not sure now. But I'm sure, because these fit perfectly on the British charger units. But these are dosimeter pens for the people who don't know. I've already done a video on it, Master, but as I said, I don't own any guns on UK gun laws, so I'm not the best person to ask. But yeah, they're dosimeter pens. Basically, the point of these was, because somebody asked about the DKP-50, they were the old things for measuring ionizing radiation. You used to wear them on a jacket, and then you could look up to them into the light. Also, something just to tell hype disappointing. You know that lovely Land Rover dosimeter set I bought? I had to be refunded for it because they couldn't find it when they came to post it. I think check M10s, the bigger the number, the bigger the size, as far as I'm aware. Well, I mean, James, if I took it to a range, I'm pretty sure, like, you can sign paperwork and shoot it on a range perfectly legally. As far as I'm aware, that is totally legal. But yeah, I can't just load it up and shoot it, obviously. Yeah, so I'll get refunded it, but I'll keep an eye out, because I think they do seem to turn up now and again. It's just a shame that one in such good condition turned up that they'd probably screwed up how many they thought they had in stock. So I assume because it was the last one in stock, when they went to pick it, they're like, oh, it's not there. I was just going to see is the type of one I was going to send you, Hype, or send you a couple of these with the Radiac or MD3 was this type, the British ones. What's this one? 500 centigrade. This is another really good one. This is like one of the higher tier British ones. I've only got one of these, so I wouldn't send you this particular one, but let me put the torch back on. This is one of the good ones. Don't know how well you can see that. If I can hold it steady. See, that's a really clear one. If I get the light and the thing in a good place, you can really easily see what your dose is on that one. It's a lovely good on that one. But yeah, the type I was sending you, because these are the ones I've got loads of, is the old British Royal Observer Corps and Army type ones. So let me check. Yep, that's still got a charge in it. It hasn't discharged, so again, it's a bit hard to sometimes line these up, but it's got quite a thick quartz fiber on these, and they do 0 to 200 centigrade. So yeah, there you go. They're quite good. But yeah, these are the ones they used in Star Wars, for the people who didn't know. The Imperial officer, for little things they had sticking out of their things. They had a different, like, that bit on them. But these, and they normally have like a little blue bit, but that was the things the Imperial officers always had on their things sticking out of there. I mean, don't really have much use for a website, do I? In all honesty. That's good, Connor. Yeah, I got recently. Because I used to pay quite a bit for those, and then a while ago, a seller was selling them off in bulk, so I ended up getting, I think it was 12 for about £12. But yeah, they're the ones, yeah, designed to work with these old charger units. But anyway, did people want to talk about coronavirus again? Because that's relevant. And I'm going to post a link to the article that I'm in that Alex wrote, AJ, once the once the thing's got, I've got it bookmarked here. Ooh, I will bookmark it actually, and I'll post it in a thing after the stream so anybody can read it. I haven't got round to cutting my hair yet, Sean, which is weird because I cut my hair anyway, but I've just not got round to doing it, and it is getting long and annoying at the moment. If you look below Noodles, if you actually want one, there is a Teespring link, and Teespring is like a merchandise website. That's the one that's technically partnered with YouTube, so it's all integrated into the site. So you can go on there and you can find mugs and different things with different pictures on. I've got lots of helmets, although you'd be forgiven at the moment because you can't see helmets behind me, can you? There's a Swiss one there, Swiss Civil Defence helmet. But yeah, I've got quite a few different helmets, but cheers, Mike. I think they're probably, sadly, RC Guy is going to be a second wave in a lot of countries because Germany's already finding, and Germany's done one of the best jobs out of a lot of the countries at, doing lots of testing and contact tracing and everything. And Germany's already finding they're getting a bit of a second wave. That the R number started shooting right up as soon as they released lockdown stuff. So, well, it would work, Illuminati, or it gives you a very good level of protection. I mean, what do I think of it? I've essentially been doing that, although I've actually been at the moment going for like lesser, intimidating, just half face masks I've got. That's good, Mike. I've had quite a few things sell recently. I don't know why. I've just had a bit of a burst, but that's good. But I think it's because I've been wearing the hoodie a bit more in videos, and then people go, "Oh, I like that." And that's the thing I forget is that I need to wear the merch. Really, in all honesty. I've got a rusty German World War II helmet somewhere, AK-47, but it's not got the liner in or anything. I don't know, but there's been lots of very strange things said, hasn't there, about things that might prevent you getting corona that probably won't work. There you go. You can see how much radiation your brain's absorbed that way. I mean, in theory, actually. Well, part of the point of merch is to actually have your name on it. I mean, I've yet to see YouTube things that are merch for channels that don't have a channel name on it. Yeah, annoyingly, this would be harder to put on, although it'd be the right color to go with the thing. Check M52. Let me look that up. I don't recognize the name of it off the top of my head, so the answer is probably no. I'll just Google it because it's doing that annoying thing where I try and select something and then what, the VZ52 rifle is that, or is there also a helmet? There's also a helmet. No, I'm pretty sure I don't have one of those. I'm trying to think, do I have any old Czech helmets? I've got some old Polish ones and like Hungarian helmets, but no, I don't think I have the Czechoslovakian one. Not from a lot of retailers, Miss MX. There are a few places that are still selling them online, but how long they take to deliver and all that, I don't know. The only thing I can suggest, Fiji, is maybe some of the Chinese brands that are maybe still in stock on AliExpress, because everything at the moment is literally sold out, or they've said they won't be selling stock anymore for a while because it's being prioritized for healthcare workers or carers. Yeah, there's an East German M56 behind me, but you can't actually see it at that angle, but there is an M56 there. To be honest, I think that would work to a degree, because if you've got a snorkel and the only way for air to get in is through a tube and you've got a particulate filter in there, it's going to do something, isn't it? It's not the best idea, but it's better than nothing, I think. Yeah, the reason this covers so much of the head is it was just the old Swiss military helmet that they then just produced in aluminium in bright yellow. GOS to NATO adapters, if they're the well-made ones, they'd be fine for particles, but certain chemicals would break them down quite easily. No, I just bought that on eBay years ago. If you type in civil defense posters Henry on eBay, you'll find a lot like that one. For COVID, I imagine they should be all right, Narkloft, because that's more of a particle threat. Right. Hard to say, class 2 instructor. Normally, 10 to 20 pounds. The longer the date on it, the longer, you know, the more it would cost normally. Oh, glad it was helpful, Narkloft. What's he doing now, Sing? I stopped watching him a bit earlier because I was coming on to stream. No, I've not needed to, Brandon, review it. I thought about it to begin with, but most of them now are doing all the things about keeping people, you know, decent distance apart. The like toilet roll sort of hysteria bit has ended at least. So when I go to you know, do shopping now, it's not all that bad in all honesty. You can wear a half face mask. You know, everybody's spaced out in a line. You know, don't go as soon as they open, and then you don't have to queue up for as long, and then you just go in with a trolley, you know, or a basket, pick up a load of things, leave, you know, give your hands a really thorough wash before you do anything once you get home. I do not know, Schwubble. You'd have to consult somebody who knows the law better than me about that, and I would not want to advise you on stuff like that, which could legally be a bit, you know, dodgy. Cheek filter masks for COVID should be all right. The reason is, the issue with cheek filter masks is that the filters for them are long since expired for vapor threats, you know, like chlorine gas and all the stuff like that. For particle threats, the filters will last years and years and years. And the main issue I have with cheek filter masks is obviously you can't change the filters in the field, but if you just want one to wear to the supermarket or whatever, that's not going to be an issue. Yeah, they said the weird thing though, didn't they, Sing, yesterday? Where didn't he say people need to go back to work as of tomorrow if they're in jobs that they can go to work to do and aren't essential workers? And then it's apparently Wednesday, because apparently on Sunday, if you say tomorrow, that means Wednesday. I was like, what? I think some of what he said was like recorded at a different date, wasn't he? And I mean, you can give him some slack for some of it, but yeah. I'm apparently the beast, Shadow Rex. What, like the devil? The beast. What type of worms do you reckon they are, Alex? Like, are they like ground worms, or are they a different type of worm? I really don't know. Is that one of the modern Russian helmets, Fiji? No, I don't, if that's the case. The only Russian helmets I have, if I've still got any, I'm actually trying to remember, are like the old Cold War, you know, like Soviet steel pots. No, it's too early to be drinking. I've had some coffee earlier, but no, there is no, if you don't believe me, there is no, see on the table, there's the dosimeter pens there, but there's not a beer there at the moment. What time was it? Quarter to 5? I have to give it a few more hours before I get a drink, I reckon. I did watch John Wick 3 last night, and that was good. It surprised me it's taken me this long to watch the John Wick films, but I actually did really enjoy them. What do you mean by a pot lid, Schwubble Wobble? I don't know if a pot lid would give you any protection, would it? I'm going to have to Google this because I have no idea what you're on about, Bjorn. Oh, what? Hiding something in a can? I mean, I don't really have any need to hide something in a can. Well, I suppose doing that would actually, you know, give you some sort of facial protection, wouldn't it? If you had a hoodie and then you put that there. Although, what would be a lot more lightweight than putting a pot lid on your face like that with a hoodie would be when you finished a 2-litre bottle of Coke or something, cut the plastic. Weapon Collector showed how to do this in the video, and then just make a little improvised face visor from the plastic from a plastic bottle. You know. As I've been saying, AK-47, I generally do not use a gas mask if I'm out and about. I use my little Alpha Mesh half face mask, or one of my other little sort of dust mask type masks. Yeah, the reason it took me ages to get round to watching John Wick hype was because on Amazon Prime for ages they had John Wick 2 but not John Wick 1. I didn't want to watch the second one without watching the first one. And then it was recently John Wick 2 wasn't on there, but John Wick 1 was. So I thought I'd watch John Wick 1 and see if I liked the first one, and then I did, and I thought, right, and then I watched the second and third one. I don't know, but I try and avoid a lot of the politics stuff about, countries collapsing and falling apart and all that, just because a lot of that's really divisive, and a lot of people just want to come on here to talk about masks or helmets or whatever else, I think most people aren't very interested in talking about, well, I hope not, what countries might go into a civil war, just because it's always quite a depressing subject, isn't it? Oh, what, the massive Soviet ballistic helmets? No, I don't. I have some riot helmets, like the visors that fold up and fold down. And, I have got obviously helmets that are ballistically rated, but only for the bit that goes around your head, not with any sort of... The closest I've got to a ballistic helmet, in all honesty, is the Mark 6A helmet with the riot visor on it, just because it offers face protection, and then it's a helmet that's ballistically rated to some degree. But no, I don't have... The issue was with those massive Soviet-like titanium helmets was supposedly the person's neck would still break if they were shot in the face. So, the helmets weren't much use. They might stop a pistol round, but as much as it could stop a rifle round, the helmet itself, your neck would still snap. We've done something right, Ix, and we've probably done a lot of things wrong. The main issue we've had in the UK, I'd say, is probably not enough testing, because it does seem that the countries that are doing the best are the ones that have very thorough testing and contact tracing? That's the word I'm looking for. I have no idea, T-Echo prepping. I mean, I know they've said they're going to put bigger fines in place now, aren't they? So they're like relaxing the rules, but people who break the relaxed rules are going to get bigger fines. You've probably seen it a lot of times in streams if I've tilted the camera down. It's a mess of like torches, Geiger counters, inhalers, tape measure, knives. They're all just strewn over. I clean it every now and then, and it looks neat for a while. And then I end up getting stuff out when somebody asks to see them in the stream, just put them on the desk there and then not tidy them again. So that sounds interesting. Hype says, oh yeah, speaking of shows, there's a French one on Netflix called Into the Night. Basically, the sun suddenly outputs, 10 to 20 times more ionizing radiation. The characters had to hug the dark side of the Earth in an Airbus, occasionally landing to get fuel and supplies and finding shelter. Show's mostly bullshit, but it's fun. That sounds a bit, not the ionizing radiation concept, but the thing in the plane. Have you ever seen the Langoliers or read the old Langoliers Stephen King book? Or I don't know if it was under Richard Bachman, like his fake name when he wrote that. But the film of that isn't brilliant, but that's got like people in a plane that, are like trying to get away from a thing that's kind of interesting like that. I mean, if there was loads more ionizing radiation from the sun, couldn't they go underground? Or do you mean like actually gamma rays where they have to just keep constantly not be in the sunlight? Because surely a bunker would be more convenient than constantly flying a plane. All right, cool. Thank you, 7SC. I cashed out my Teespring balance not very long ago, but I'm going to have to cash it out again soon because I've had a massive uptake in sale. No, I probably don't plan on doing a drunk stream shubble wubble because I don't want to say anything that would insult people. And the drunker I get, the less coherent I get anyway, so... Oh, yeah, I think, Sean, generally German people follow rules, don't they? So if the government tells them to do something, they're more likely to do it. People here are going, oh, you can't tell me what to do. That's the Welsh place, isn't it? And no, Brandon, I cannot say it or pronounce that. Can't you open it in a new tab? 11HHH30, but in terms of how much they are, let me look up for you, because I don't actually know without looking up. I know I set the price of them originally, and I set them only to have a fairly small profit margin on, so it was actually more incentive for people to buy them, but I can't remember. Let's see, listings. How do I storefront? That's what I want to go on, isn't it? View store, right, hoodies. Let's have a look. The t-shirts are £15. The mugs are £10. The sweatshirts and hoodies are like £20 to £30. But yeah, there's a few other things listed on there as well. And yeah, with the hoodies being like £30, that's only like, I think, a £5 profit margin. It's not very much. Because that's the thing with Teespring, you have like an initial price and you can't go below that because that's where they get their profit. And then what you find with Teespring is basically it's like they say, you know, you can then list your thing for like any price above that, and that's your profit margin. So most things are listed to give me like £2 or £3 profit per item. Because you will see some YouTube videos, and when you look at their merch, their t-shirts are like 50 quid because they're trying to make like £30 profit margin on a t-shirt. Well, it's not too dissimilar as for civil defence, Brandon. Firefighters might have ended up using these, but these were the old Swiss MAT military helmets, you know, like the German Stauhelms, just bulkier. And then what they did in the later in like the Cold War was just mass produce them in aluminium rather than being like manganese steel or whatever, and then just painted them bright yellow. So it's basically the exact same shape as the military helmets, just a lot lighter. Because the idea was these weren't meant to stop bullets or shrapnel. They were basically designed to stop people bumping their heads or, you know, debris hitting them. So basically, you know, they were just a hard hat, really. That was more the function of them. I'm kind of surprised, Tieko, that nothing too big's kicked off yet. I mean, you might, if you give it time, it might. I don't want it to happen, obviously, but I think eventually, yeah, you are going to run into probably people getting so fed up with a lockdown, there will be some sort of crime type stuff. What was that? Sorry, class 2? You said my mom was an American, just an observation. What? That's very confusing. Right, cool. That's nice. 11H30. Fixing a buckle on FM12. It'd be the same type of buckle system as the CT12. Or like, which bit's broken? This bit of it? The plastic bit? Like the actual physical plastic buckle, like that bit? I mean, looking at that, it looks like they are removable, but you'd obviously have to find somewhere selling spares. That would be the issue. Do you listen to The Weekend? Are they a band? The answer would certainly be no to that if they're a band. I've never heard of them. If it's an actual P3 filter, MX, because apparently a few sort of kind of dodgy places are selling like regular N95 masks, advertising them as FFP3 or whatever, or P3. But if it is a proper one, yeah, criminals. But yeah. In theory, every filter sold as a P3 should be a P3, but some people have said that there are shops getting into trouble where they're trying to sell like lesser protective things as more protective things. There's a few different things like that, though, either series or TV shows, isn't there, hype about various like apocalypse things where people are stuck on boats or whatever. There's Virus where there's like the scientists stuck on a submarine, but I've not seen that in Yonks. My name's Liam, if you want to call me that. Oh, what did Anthony say that got deleted? Oh, he just spammed a load of pictures. I mean, you'd hope it wouldn't go on that long, wouldn't you, Werner or Werner? That masks seem normal, but I mean, they're getting more normalized now. I mean, one thing to point out is they did say today, you know, although you should be wearing a cloth face mask in public, you shouldn't be wearing an FFP3 mask because, you know, doctors need them. Well, the problem is if you've already bought a mask, you know, ages ago when they were easily available, because you thought all this might come in handy, it seems silly that you shouldn't be allowed to wear it now. I mean, they're not saying, yeah, you can't wear it. They're just saying, you know, don't try and buy FFP3 masks. But again, you also apparently hear, don't you, that there's lots of companies that are selling this stuff like FFP3 masks, and they can't get the government to respond to emails about, actually buying supplies of them up to give to medical workers. Yeah, I think people have mentioned The Last Ship on here before, Hype, but when I saw it was a TV series that went on for multiple series, I thought, I can't be bothered to watch all that. No, I don't actually have any World War I relics at all, AK-47. My Schmitz Rubin rifle over there, that I can't show on the stream, is actually older than World War One, sorry. Because it's from that particular one's 1892, because it was the rifle series that started in 1889. That one's 1892. So that would be a gun very similar to what Switzerland used in World War One. I think by World War One, the Swiss actually had slightly lighter weight versions of it, maybe a slightly shorter barrel. Was it the K11 they had in World War One? I can't remember, but I know Switzerland didn't fight in World War One. But you know what I'm getting at. But in terms of actual World War One relics, no. Yeah, Joshua, or Joe, you were sorry. I think that's the problem that's happened in a lot of countries because governments were underprepared, hadn't bought enough, PPE gear. They kind of did this double think thing that only works for us if we buy them. And like I said, I wish more governments were just honest and said, look, these masks would protect you, but healthcare workers need them more because they're on the front lines of this. Please don't buy up and hoard masks. Anyway, I'll be off in a minute. Thanks, everybody. It's been a good stream. I've enjoyed this one. We've only had one or two weird comments on this one, which is quite nice, because some of these streams get spammed to the absolute hell out of them with weird questions. But yeah, that's the thing saying that, Sean, is I know a lot of people that already owned particle masks because they cycled in towns where everybody, you get stuck in traffic with car exhausts everywhere, so they already owned particle respirators for that reason. Narkov says, last question, promise. If I were using GP5 with a 3D printed NATO adapter, would putting some petroleum jelly into the threads help with True Seal? It could do. The best thing to use, I don't have it in this room, so I can't show it you, is that silicone adhesive stuff. Because that's basically like a glue that turns into rubber as it dries. You will be on Twitch tonight, right? I look forward to that, Mike, because having the Twitch chats is quite nice. Any Queen songs you listen to? Night at the Opera is a good album. But the Flash Gordon soundtrack's fantastic if you haven't listened to the Flash Gordon soundtrack, Brandon. So I'll say that as I'm going off. But yeah, obviously everybody knows the theme from Flash. Savior of the Universe. But there's actually quite a lot of other good stuff on that. One of the good tracks is the Attack of the Hawkmen one, or whatever it's called, which is like the crazy Brian May guitar one. With just Brian Blessed shouting over it. So there you go. But yeah. Thanks, everybody. I'll post a link to the article I'm in now as a community thing, so anybody that wants to look it up and read it, and I'll read it properly in a minute, can have a read. So thank you for that, Alex. And yeah, see you all. I won't be on again later, but I will be on tomorrow, but I don't know what time. But yeah, don't forget to like the stream on your way out if you haven't liked it yet, because that does seem to help my videos get shared. Right, cool. See you all. Goodbye.